Okay, I think we got the message
Yeah.
saying that we're recording this. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. Well, we've been talking before and we're just saying hello like nothing. Well, we
Yes.
just have today we have a person coming up. She's our guest and her name is Kia. And well, she's going to tell us a bit about her right now. I'm going to admit her in the meeting so we can talk to her. Is that okay?
Okay. Sounds good. I'm very excited.
Go. Okay. Oh, is she here? No, she's not here.
No,
She
not
waited too
yet, but
long.
oh no.
Oh, there she
Oh, here
is.
she's there.
All right.
Hi.
Hello. I'm so
Hello.
sorry. I'm running behind. I apologize. It's
Oh
been
no, you're fine.
a very eventful afternoon for whatever reason today. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Hi.
we're so excited that you're joining us.
So
Hi.
glad to be on. Hi. Hi.
Okay, so Kia, yes, this is my co-host Victoria.
Hi,
Hello.
Victoria.
Hi, Kia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, we were talking a little bit about you from before, but I don't really I want to know more about you. Can you answer a few questions for us
Sure.
so we know we get to know you a little bit more? Is that okay? Well,
Yeah.
we have questions like, okay, what's your full name first of all? Let's just go with that.
Oh, okay. So my full name is Kia Diane London, but I go by Kia D London. But yeah, that is my full name.
Oh, that's great. And where are you from?
I'm from Chicago. Originally from
Chicago.
Chicago. I grew up in the south suburbs, and now I'm northwest, what we call like the North Shore area up here with my family and my husband. And but yeah, I'm a Chicago gal at heart, Chicagoland area. So love Chicago.
What does being a Chicago girl mean?
Ooh, good question.
Oh, that's such a great question. Like I there's just something about us. We're very real. Not to say that other places aren't, but there's just like a kind of I don't want to use this word, but I'm gonna use it anyway.
Uh-oh.
Like there's like a swag to us. So it's like we're
Oh,
very real, we're very authentic. Um, we're very loyal, like we love our city and we love all of the surrounding, suburbs that come with it. Um, and everybody is generally, I mean, you do get people like in any city that aren't going to be kind, for whatever reason, but everybody is pretty kind. I mean, everybody's pretty much kind, willing to support and help one another out. And we're very proud, very, very proud of our city. So yeah.
that sounds beautiful. What does
Thanks.
the rest of the United States think about people from Chicago?
Um, I mean, I think that of course, former President Barack Obama, like that's the first thing that comes
Oh,
to mind because he and Michelle from Hyde Park, like just recently, their center like just opened, their
Mm.
library just opened, and I know tickets are tough to get right now. I don't think there's any ticket availability until like December.
wow.
Um, but just last week, I want to say maybe like last week, they just had like the whole like dedication ceremony where people from all over like came out and things like that. Um, but yeah, but you think about the Obamas, and there's so many great not only influencers but people that have initiated a lot of change that come out of the city of Chicago, and we're also known as the Windy City,
Oh
as well
yeah,
because of the lake,
I heard that.
because of the lake, yeah, the lake effect. Um, and then, I mean, yeah, so it's like even whenever I'm traveling to different places, like if it's out of the country or if it is, in another state. People ask me, where are you from? And I've kind of done this as kind of like, let's see what happens, where if I give them the actual like north suburb of Chicago, they're like, where? And then I'm like, Chicago. They're like, oh, okay, Chicago. So everywhere I'm like, yeah, it's Chicago. So yeah, there's just so much. There's a lot here. Um, incredible work. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done with different places around, not only just like surrounding like the city of Chicago, but within the city of Chicago. But we're very, very proud, very, very proud people. So yeah.
Yeah, I went there once, and I love the city. I love the people too, and also I love the pizza.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
The
that
pizza's
special
great.
pizza. I've never seen that pizza in the world.
Yes.
Deep
It's
dish.
great. Yeah, deep dish. There's like nothing like it. Nothing like it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that experience. It was nice. Well, and we want to know, what do you do for a living?
Yeah. So I'm a teacher. Teacher first. It's 20 years teaching.
20 years.
So
Wow.
yeah. I'm just when I think that I'm like, maybe it's time to do something else, it's like, no, we're gonna, I totally believe that with, gifts and passions that people have, it's important that you put them to use. And so for me, teaching and mentoring has been just an incredible force in my life. I've taught Spanish for, gosh, 20 years, every grade level, K through 12. In addition to that, my role probably within the last like 7 years has changed, where I feel like I'm on the veteran side, maybe a little bit now, where I'm doing more consulting and, coaching and just really supporting world language teachers. Um, and, in addition to that, not only supporting them, but supporting them within the like through the curriculum, just ensuring that that representation piece, equitably. I know that my hub has always been African communities, communities of African descent, or Black communities within the Spanish speaking regions and things like that. But just ensuring that there's equitable representation in terms of making sure that our students are seeing what they do see in the real world, and that is being reflected like in the in the classroom. So that's part of my work that I really do enjoy. I really do enjoy just supporting teachers in that journey when it comes to workshops and keynotes and things like that. But the other part of it is teaching too, so supporting students and really encouraging them to grow in their multilingualism and seeing it as not only a gift but also a right, as well.
That's very interesting. And the thing of teaching them the reality, what they will really, really face outside in the world, is something that I'm also very, I'm working for it in my own classes. Well, I'm an English teacher, and I teach adults mainly, though. And yeah, that's one of the things, because if you think about it, out there, there's no one way to speak the language. It's just so many ways. And it varies according to location, age, and many other factors. It's just a lot. And how do we
Yeah.
teach that? That's a challenge. Well, I've been making all the questions, so I want to pass the word to Wynter, because she hasn't said a thing. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm was happy to let you guys speak and kind of get to know each other. And Kia, I'm so glad that you were able to join us. And also, it was great actually meeting you before on the panel and hearing you speak. And I think it's also great just to talk about the intersection between language and culture. And I think that's something important to highlight. So I know you already shared a bit or a blurb, I guess, about, I guess, a little bit about yourself, but I guess if you wanted to highlight that here as well before you kind of jump into your topic. And I wasn't sure which topic that you wanted to speak about, but if you wanted to share a little bit more about your self, especially about your company, the Trailblaze into language, I think that would be great. And then we can kind of jump into the topic that you wanted to discuss.
Okay, of course. Yes. Thank you so much, Wynter. So Trailblaze in the language learning is, I remember 7 years ago, that was the name. I was doing some reflecting, some, deep diving as far as really wanting to expand what I was, doing in the classroom. And it started off really as just a place where I would blog about just certain things about Black communities within the Spanish speaking realm, and how to really not only incorporate but center that work in the classroom. And then it has really taken on kind of like a life of its own at this point. But Trailblaze in Language Learning, which is my business now, actually, where I'm able to really support teachers just one-to-one a little bit more. Within Trailblaze, I do have a curriculum membership program. It's called the Belonging Lab. And there we really explore just how identity, purpose, and equity meet with language. And so moving from the theme of belonging to, equity, to centering intercultural competence. And so that has, I want to say, it might be, the membership group might be about 3 or 4 years old. I need to do better at really putting that together. I'm not great on hey, we're going to celebrate this. I just kind of go, but that's one aspect of it. Then the other aspect is just really being able to share and give workshops when it comes to intercultural competence, belonging, and of course, Black communities within the Spanish-speaking communities, while also uplifting proficiency and really getting teachers to make that shift of going from grammar-driven to focusing in on what students are able to do with the language versus what they know about.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are you looking at the wider diaspora throughout the globe or just within the US?
Oh, throughout the globe. So we actually, they're an author who happens to be a really good friend of mine. Her name is AC Quintero. She is another Spanish teacher here in Chicago. And we came out maybe again 5 years ago, like my years with trying to keep up with how long we've been doing stuff. And it's a magazine publication, and it's called Las Voces Diversas de la Diáspora, where we purposefully and intentionally wrote after research about different Black communities, Black identities within Spanish-speaking communities. So stemming from Equatorial Guinea, Spain, France, Argentina. I know right now Argentina has been a huge kind of a huge point, especially if you're watching the World Cup, because I've been seeing some things come up And I know recently I just shared on my social media about how there is a Black community within Argentina. It's small, but it's there. And so we just really being able to look at the historical side of things and not so much centering in on, this was the struggle, this was the Black struggle, but also including the victory and the triumph as well. So that has been, a large piece, of the work as well. So being able to see what we're doing and what we're putting out there has been incredible from just a lot of different teachers, a lot of teachers that are teaching Spanish, like using it, in their classroom, which is great.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting, especially maybe collaborating with teachers abroad or expanding into some kind of exchange programs. I think that would be really neat as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be really good. Yeah, I feel like something like that has always been on my list to do, but when I get into the thick of it with the school year and everything, I'm like, oh, where did the time go? But yeah. Yeah.
Well, so you mentioned the Black communities in Argentina, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting uh, how the studies on that are very reduced. The other day, I was talking to a person from Brazil, and he was talking to me about how the Black communities have disappeared. I'm gonna say this, yeah, because I don't know if this is like really it or not, but we were talking about how they were segregated and reduced in a way that abandonment left them out the map, and that's and it was just devastating to hear that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I had no idea that that happened, but he studies these things, and he was just kind of telling me all these things, and it was like, wow. There's a lot of things that we as Latin Americans don't know about the Black communities in this area. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know, for
Yeah.
example, one day that when I was traveling to Ecuador, I passed through Peru and I met a person from Chile who was going to learn the dances of the Black communities in Peru, and I never heard about that, like Black communities in Peru. And I got really curious about it, and she was explaining to me how they are very close circles, and there's not much literature on it. Like there's nobody telling us or showing us the reality of it. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah. And yeah, so the knowledge in this is just like, where is it? We don't know how to find it, where to find it, or how to get to it. It's a yeah, it's such a great topic too. Well, I wanted to ask you, what about how do you deal with the differences of accents, and how do you teach your students the different dialects of Spanish? Because there's tons, as I said before. How do you do it? Well, what do you do with this?
There's time. Yeah. There's a lot. I know for me, what I really try to do is, again, using a lot of resources. So
Yeah.
any video, any documentary that I find, anything on, I know right now, I spend a lot of time on Instagram, and there's so many things like popping up of just like recordings of people and just different, and again, going with the World Cup, which is where my
Yeah.
face has been, lately. Like I'm saving all of these things, I'm like, oh, I'm Bobby speaking Spanish. Let me, like save this. So really starting there, just a lot of, different videos, different documentaries, of course, things that I always, preview first. And I know what I found just in terms of teaching novice, learners, whenever they hear another voice or another, dialect or accent besides mine. It's like, oh my gosh, why are they talking so fast? And it's like, no, this actually is not fast. It just sounds fast to you, but this is not fast. you know.
Wow.
Um, so really being able to not only, meet them just in terms of where they're at, but just consistent exposure and just really bringing that like, into the classroom. I know with Bad Bunny's performance, the Super Bowl, I mean, that was just a point of just so many different discussions where um, I had a couple of classes. One class in particular was just really, really interested. And so we ended up talking a little bit about the history of Puerto Rico, and different questions came up. And it just as far as like, well, why do I can't really understand like what they're saying and how they're saying it. I said,
Me
well,
neither.
yeah, when you go to Puerto Rico, you're gonna hear Spanglish, you're gonna hear Spanish, you're gonna hear English, and you might hear some words that are just, words that you're used to producing fully that are chopped off. And
Yeah.
that is how they communicate. And that's what that is. And so, really being able to have those discussions, and also again, like bringing like those resources in at the same time, but also encouraging my students to, especially at the time, I mean, they were in high school, but um, anytime you have an opportunity to, travel, like even if it's, down the street. I know here in Chicago, we have a huge, just Latina, population here, and there's just so many different communities that are happening. Like just even if it's down the street or if it's, in another country or whatnot, like go explore, go listen. But until then, just consistently bringing those resources in with what I'm experiencing, and then also with what I'm finding.
Do you think these artists have raised the interest in Spanish,
I
like Bad
do.
Bunny or others? I don't know. I don't know which other
Yeah.
ones you're listening to over there.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I mean, just up until the point before he was performing, I mean, just again, Instagram, social media, that's just kind of like where I'm, what's going on? Seeing, different comments from people of just like, I only understood one word, but I love his music, like I know this word means that, because again, music is like that universal language. But I think so. And I think too, again, I keep going back to the World Cup because that's just for me, but like hearing, different players that are, speaking multiple languages, even though they're playing on, a different team, whatnot. I think that that's incredibly, helpful too. Um, because, as much as I really, make it a point to encourage, multilingualism, um, with where I'm at and the influence that I do have, I do still run into I still have taught students where it's like, well, no, I just want to learn English. I'm good with English and that's it. And I'm like, but no, but look at so and so. Like this is great. Like they know 2 and 3, and so I think it's really a matter of what I'm finding too, in particular with novice students that I've taught, not all, where it just seems like it's a little too hard. So I'll just stick with, here, but constantly trying to find ways of just pushing past it too hard. Like, no, you can do it. You are doing it. You're here in class. You're communicating with me. You just have to consistently, continue to do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Um, yeah, so I since I think, well, here in Chile is a problem that people learn English in schools um since kindergarten, but they learn vocabulary, just pieces of language that are separated And somehow when they finish high school, they are not, even though they had English from kindergarten, they are not able to speak it. Is this a problem in the United States too, like for Spanish or other languages?
Yes, it is. And what I'm seeing lately is that there is a shift. And our National World Language Association, ACFL, has been incredible, and the teachers that have worked on the standards have been instrumental in that. But growing up, when I grew up in my high school, and again, I was one of the few linguists, quote unquote, nerds, where I liked the grammar and being able to, change the ending of the verbs and all this other stuff. And the speaking, being able to speak it communicatively. I was at the AP level at one point, but I really lacked, I wasn't fully confident in myself. And that was something that I had to push through. And I had an opportunity to do that when I studied abroad. I was in Spain, and I just remember it was Madrid to Sevilla. And I remember the minute I got there, I went to like this tapas bar, and it was just, there's no English. You're just there.
No
And the
choice.
guy was like, ¿qué te ponga? I'm like, jamón con queso y una botella de agua. I'm just really, and I just remember feeling, and then he's like, Vale. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is how this goes, so I just, like remember that, and just even reflecting of just at the time, teachers were, they were teaching how they had been taught in the US when it came to just the teacher education programs and things like that. And at least from now, from what I'm hearing and seeing from teachers that are graduating from those graduate programs, a lot of them are really using comprehensible input and leaning into a proficiency, which is great. So really looking at your classroom community and thinking about, okay, so I have all of this vocabulary, but how do we make this comprehensible to our students? And also, how do we shift the focus to what the students can do? So
Mhm.
it really is a matter of not only like shifting, it's a mindset shift, and just being able to say that, having worked alongside teachers that have been teaching longer than me, but also changing how changing your instructional strategy, so giving tasks and, hey, I need for you to, leave a message, pretend like you're leaving a message for, your parent or guardian, you need them to come pick you up. What would you say? So if that is the end goal, being able to reflect on, okay, what steps do I need to take as a teacher so that my students are able to do that? Well, first, let's see, they need vocabulary, so let's do that. And then from there, let's create an environment where we can use that vocabulary comprehensively. So visuals, scaffolding, a lot of communication, a lot of speaking, being able to create an environment where the students can make mistakes and you're okay with them making mistakes. So that's the
Yeah,
other
that's a big thing.
shift,
How do you
that
think
needs to happen.
you shift
Mhm.
like the confidence? So how you mentioned, okay, you're in higher level and you were in AP courses, but how do you think that you shift students' level of confidence so they feel more comfortable speaking? Because I feel like that's something that all students, no matter if they're younger learners or adult learners, at some point may struggle with. And it's something that maybe they need like an extra nudge sometimes from the instructor or from the classroom environment. And so what are some things that you feel like you're able to do to just help the learner with that?
Yeah. That's an excellent question. I know one of the things that I really did set forth in expectations was that I'm not listening for and I'm not looking for perfection. So even if you need to ask me for a pencil, and if you are looking visually, because I'm the type, I have sometimes a little too much, but my walls are covered purposefully with vocabulary that they can use. They're not covered for the point of this looks nice here, but it's vocabulary that they can use to communicate to me and also to their classmates. So if you are asking me for a pencil and the only thing you feel comfortable saying is lapis, great. I've had that happen where the students will know, like, okay, you have to ask her in the target language, you know. And so I've had students come up, profe, lapis. Oh, get us some lapis. See, okay. And I give it to them, and they're just, oh, that was it. I was like, yeah,
It
you
works.
said pencil.
That's
There
right.
we go. Like, that's a starting point. So I think that that's important, and being able to celebrate that, being able to celebrate that, and also recognizing as well the level that they're at, but also having that conversation with them of just like, okay, this is where we're starting. This is where you're at, and this is okay. So if you are, speaking, and right now you are producing either one or two words or a phrase, great. This is where you're at, and you will get better the more that we do in terms of just like what we're doing. So that, again, going back to the expectation of not looking for perfection, but effort. I just need to hear or see some type of effort when we think about communicating in the target language and
Hey,
starting from there.
I love the point of view. I just love the way like everything that you're saying. I love it. But however, I mean, I don't know how to say this, but there evaluation in the end. Evaluation usually takes you to the idea of perfection. Like you
Yeah.
have a test, a written test in front of you. You need to fill in the gaps. You need to
Mhm.
write a few things, and if it's not perfect, you don't get the full score. So, how do you deal with evaluation in this case? How do you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I mean, that's the other thing. And, I was listening to just the other day. No, not the other day. This is what happens during the summer. Everything becomes the other day. Um, so last week, there was a linguist that was on. His name is Dr. Bill Van Patten. Um, I've met and spoken with him a couple times, but he talks a lot. He's written a lot of books when it comes to language acquisition and how students acquire the language. And so one thing he mentioned, which I took pause because I thought it was a great idea, but then I'm like, but we live again, we we're here in the system where there's evaluation, and there are
yeah,
certain things where I believe, he was talking about, like, standards, like we need to not have the standards, and the kids should just, be able to communicate at the level that they're at, and let the acquisition foster from there, which yes, 100%. um and so with that in mind, I mean, then you get to, when it comes to what students need to do, you get to the grammar, being able to teach grammar in context. And it's, I know for me, I have to do that through literacy. I have to do it through literacy. It has to be done for me, like through readers, articles, short stories, because I have found it to be more successful when I'm able to take a passage with my students and we talk about, Okay, so what words first? What words can we identify here? And what verbs do you notice here? Now I know it's a little mechanical and it definitely totally not necessarily my style, but that's how I have to approach it. And I know that that is how you have a lot of teachers that are facilitating and are teaching a language approach grammar where we present it in context. So that is something that I have found to be incredibly helpful versus let's practice, changing the endings of like the conjugations. And so one thing I will say with ACTFL is when looking at the different levels of proficiency, so your novice low, mid, high, and then you have your intermediate low, mid, high, and then advanced mid, low, high, and so forth. With each particular level of proficiency, when it comes to learners that are acquiring a second language, there's a certain expectation.
Mhm.
So depending on where they're at, if we're just looking at novice speakers, it's comprehensibility, really, and putting, utilizing certain phrases. And then when you get to the intermediate level, okay, creating sentences, utilizing those sentences, applying those. And then a little bit more further in, then you get into, utilizing the present tense without any mistakes. So I will say, at least having that in place, it is helpful. So that when you're beginning with novice learners, it's not like, ooh, okay, you forgot, you didn't change this ending, because we know what we already know what the expectation is when it comes to where students are at. In a perfect world, yeah, that'd be great. That would be wonderful. Let's just, and I mean, because yeah, everybody acquires language at their own pace, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, yeah, the best way in going back to that evaluative piece is really looking and quote unquote teaching like that grammar in context and not having it isolated. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. And yeah, I mean, it's the system that requires you to be like to have a specific context. I mean, a specific grade of perfection into this level. But in the end, in real life, it like lapis would work, right? Un lapis, and that's it, right? You don't need the whole sentence. So I was thinking of, well, it just reminded me of a time that I was in an English school, and we were teaching in many companies, and we decided not to have tests. What we decided was that another teacher would call them on the phone and make the questions in that level, and in the level of achievement, they would grade them and from 1 to 5. For example, the vocabulary that is using is correct. Okay, I understand what he's saying. Okay, from 1 to 5, and that was kind of like the way that we graded them. And in the end, it was okay. It worked, but companies wanted to go back to the system. You know, they wanted you to have a from 1 to 7 is in Chile. From 1 to 7, 7 is the highest grade. The 7, they wanted them to have a 7. You know, like they wanted us to show them the data that they were having 7s. And in the end, it was like, okay, this is not going to work, even though they demonstrated that they could speak and they could answer the questions, right? Like un lapis would work perfectly, right? But in this case, it just for them it wasn't enough. So it's the system against proficiency, like real proficiency. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just an opinion.
So
But
were you measuring their oral proficiency, or were you measuring written, oral?
only oral proficiency, because that was the target. That was the objective of the class. It was for professionals who wanted to talk on the phone with some clients.
Okay.
And they were
Yeah.
doing they were doing that perfectly. Like actually, a phone call would kind of emulate
Yeah,
the reality of it, right?
kind of like a simulation. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, like that's, that's the other thing, because if when you have organizations that don't understand how language acquisition works, then it's treated. I was just reading this in Bill's Van Patten's book. It becomes treated like every other subject when
Right.
it's completely different. There, there's all sorts of things, that
Yeah.
are happening, in
Or
the
if,
brain. So
or if the class is just to pass a certain assessment at a certain score, then, if you're testing just for an evaluation, then the class is
yeah,
structured in a completely different manner versus if you're taking the language to actually retain the information and, learn it at pace, then it would be completely different. Similar to what you're
yeah,
saying, if the organization doesn't understand language acquisition and how individuals process languages, then they're completely different things.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So far, we've been talking about teaching. Now we haven't
Oh,
talked
yes,
about
yeah.
business. Yeah. Um,
No,
Wynter told me that you own a business. Is that right?
yes,
Can
yes.
you tell me a little bit about it?
Of course, yeah. So I own Trailblaze into language learning. Um, this particular the name of it came about maybe almost 7, 8 years ago, before I actually knew what it was going to become, and it's completely evolved and changed over the last several, like, 8 years. It started out as me utilizing that name to really talk about the Black presence in, Spanish speaking communities, and now it's completely changed into a whole different thing, which is great. So within Trailblaze and the language learner and learning, I really support multilingual educators and world language educators when it comes to looking at what they want their students to be able to do. So everything from curriculum design to curriculum development. I worked with a team, this was a while back, on the East Coast. They wanted to completely revamp their curriculum into making it more proficiency centered and also more inclusive. And so worked with them for about 3 days. And typically what I find in terms of working with language departments is they, you want that other person in the room that is going to give you either, that feedback um, in terms of what it is they want to see, and what something might sound like. And I've also found too, where there are going to be a few people on the team that are going to be a little skeptical of, like, well, no, why are we doing it this way instead of this way? So typically you bring in like a specialist to kind of like, well, no, these are the benefits of doing this and this is why. And so just supporting them and really building the curriculum more inclusive at the time. um, and they wanted a little bit more of their community involved, because they have a very, very heavy Latina population around their school. So, that was great. Right now, I'm working with a nonprofit organization in the city of Chicago. It is an early childhood program, and they are building a dual language program. So this one has been, it has stretched me a little bit, because it's all been like world language. But um, at the same time, it's like when you're a linguist, it's very easy to pivot and to really shift, your thinking. When you're looking at the models, the 80/20 models, utilizing um, their home language, the home language of the students 80% of the time, and then 20% English and things like that. So that has been just a phenomenal time, and really working with them and building a comprehensive just assessment portfolio for them as well. And last but not least, I have my belonging program, which is the membership program. And it's really centered in on belonging, equity, and interculturality, so that intercultural competence. And it's for world language and multilingual educators. And it's a virtual program, and we meet monthly. I'm in the process of revamping a lot of things with it. But I do have a group of founding members that have been great, and we have guest speakers that I like to call Trailblaze Talks, and they hear from me, and then there's content that's available to them. So we really explore everything within the belonging realm. So from community to routines, the equity piece, when we talk about how are we reaching neurodivergent learners like in our classroom, the culturally responsive strategies, and then of course the interculturality piece with the products, practices, and the perspectives in that reflective piece. So that is really where I like to, dedicate my time throughout the year. And every year now and again, I'll do a workshop, but I try not to overwhelm myself too much, because all of this is balanced with family and our 3 kids. 2 of them are in middle school, 1 of them is in elementary, so it's a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah, time management, huh? Like in my case, I just use Google Calendar for everything. Without Google Calendar, I don't know where I am. Like I have
Yeah.
no idea how to control my time. I have no control over anything. So it's like it's something that we really need to kind of
Yeah.
juggle, let's say,
Yeah.
because Jesus, when do we sleep? When do we eat? When do we live?
Right.
Besides our jobs, right? Um, hey, I want to make a question that is related to other things.
Yeah.
Related more to uh to the dynamics that you use in class. Uh, is there any game that you love doing in class that
Ooh,
we can play over here
Oh,
yes, let's play a game.
in
I
Spanish?
yeah. I mean, we can. Like, I will say that I like utilizing games, but I have to admit, like this past year, I did like a couple games and that was it. But I need to like up my game, a little bit more in the realm of games. Um, there was a game that was pretty popular with my middle school students, which I'll probably use again this coming year with my middle school students. Is Guess Who It Is, where they would have to describe somebody in the room in the target
Oh,
language, and then that person would have to, hands would go up, and then they'd have to guess who it was, and then after that, it would be whoever guessed correctly, it would be their turn to describe like someone else. So, um, yeah, that was that was a pretty popular game. But again, I need to like up my game level on when it comes to games.
yeah. So usually here we have a small little interactive game that we play with Wynter. So I was wondering if you had one, and probably we can kind of modify it and have it and play it right now. What do you think? In Spanish though, Wynter, do you feel ready for it? Do you feel ready to play in
I can
Spanish?
try. I'll embarrass myself. I don't know any words. You guys go, and then I'll see. Like,
Okay, yeah,
I can
because
guess. I can be the main guesser.
okay, let's see if you can do this in Spanish then. Well, we're gonna be your Spanish teachers here, like.
Yeah, you can be my Spanish teachers. That'll make it more fun.
Okay, well, let's play something then. So we can modify this
Okay.
game. like thinking about a famous person and then asking the questions, you know, like, ¿eres de Estados Unidos? ¿Eres
No.
argentino? Right? And then some physical characteristics, maybe, or occupation wise, probably. Yeah. And just making the right questions in order to get the person. What do you think? Do you think you're able to do it, Wynter?
Me? Oh, I mean, even if I can't, I'll just play along. I'm gonna
Okay.
try.
So, okay, Wynter, think about a person that is famous that we can guess. Yeah. And we're
Have
going
to
to
go
make the question.
last.
Think about one.
Oh, okay.
And then we're going to make the questions with Kia. Are you ready? Famous
Me?
person that we can guess? Yeah.
Yeah. So what am I
Okay,
supposed to say?
So we're going to make the questions and you're going to say yes or no. Sí o no.
Sí or no? All right, fine. Go for
Okay.
it.
Okay, let's go. ¿Eres americana?
Sí. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Kia.
Yeah.
Tú ahora.
The person, I'm asking about the person.
Yes.
Yeah,
The person she has in
I
her
should
head.
wrote
Yeah.
it down somewhere.
And
Wait, I should write
Okay.
it down so I can't
So you make
change
it
it.
a yes, no question.
Oh well, I don't have a pen.
Okay.
In Spanish, of course.
Okay. Esa persona vive in Chicago.
No sé.
Okay. No. How do you say? Oh, I don't
No
have any
sé.
other words. No
No
sé.
sé. Okay.
But
Okay.
pero no. How do you say but?
Pero.
Mhm.
God, I don't know any words.
Pero.
Pero. How do you say he? This is such a simple
El.
word. El. Donde? No. From? De Chicago.
Oh,
¿Él
okay.
es de Chicago o no es de Chicago?
No es
No es de
de
Chicago.
Chicago, pero de I forgot what I said already. De Chicago.
Oh,
De Chicago.
okay.
Okay.
Sí.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Es hombre.
Sí.
Sí.
Hombre.
Okay.
Okay.
¿Está vivo
Vivo. ¿Es
o
el
muerto?
vivo? Oh, vivo.
Vivo. Okay.
¿Es actor?
No, no actor.
Okay.
¿Es cantante?
Sí, cantante.
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 Cantante. ¿Es viejo?
Viejo.
¿Viejo o joven?
Okay, say the words again.
¿Viejo o joven?
Viejo. Yo no
Viejo
sé.
es old.
Oh,
Joven es opuesto.
that would make me old. I don't know.
Okay.
Yo no
No
sé.
sabes.
Okay.
Okay, Kia.
¿Tiene novia or novie or novio?
Oh, I love the inclusion there. Yeah.
Novia. Más. Novia.
¿Novia? ¿Tiene novia?
No. I don't know novia. So I was
Oh.
saying more. Give me more. Don't
¿Novia?
Novia. This is how much I don't know.
Okay.
You should know the person. Okay.
Novia.
Uh,
Can you do act out the words?
Okay. Buen punto. Kia, pregunta.
Okay. Es. Okay, no, él es cantante. Okay. And so es gracioso?
Mhm.
Gracioso.
Oh, does he
Gracioso.
laugh a lot? Gracioso.
Cómico, gracioso.
Eso fue
Does he-
gracioso.
Gracioso.
Ajá.
No,
No,
you know,
Okay.
no es
I don't think
gracioso.
so.
No. Okay.
Ah, en Chile decimos fome. Fome
Oh,
es
fome.
opuesto de chistoso.
Okay.
Es opuesto, sí. Pero solo en Chile,
Okay. Fome.
sí. Fome. Fome.
Entonces, como serio
Aburrido.
o aburrido. Okay. Okay.
Aburrido
Ah,
es en español general, fome, Chile. Fome. Solo en
okay.
Chile. Eh, entonces, la persona, el hombre es fome, ¿sí? Aburrido. No es chistoso. Ok, no, ya.
No.
Ok, entonces es cantante, es no joven, no viejo,
No, joven, no
es
viejo.
americano,
Es
eh,
americano.
es americano, tiene el pelo negro, el
Negro.
pelo
Sí,
negro, ¿sí?
Okay.
pero negro.
Y la piel
De-
oscura o blanca o
No blanca.
no blanca.
Okay.
Ok, ok. Es cantante de música romántica.
No, no romántica.
Oh,
Okay.
no sé quién es. ¿Y tú quién?
Okay. ¿No es rapero?
Rapero.
Sí.
Sí, rapero.
Ah, no sé la
Oh,
persona.
okay.
Ah, no sé
Um,
quién es.
es Ye.
Yeah.
Ye,
Sí, yeah.
Kanye.
Sí, sí.
Es
¿Es gay?
Kanye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Es Kanye.
¿Quién?
Okay. Kanye
Kanye.
West.
Kanye. Ah, entendí, es
Yeah.
gay.
Yay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ahora
yeah.
yay. Pero here, aquí en Chicago, yeah, decimos
It's his
Kanye.
name.
Pero, yeah.
I thought you said gay. Is he gay? And I thought
No, he
about
said his
Lil Nas or something like that.
little nice. Oh, no, no, no. He said
Lil
his
Nas.
nickname.
No.
His- or not
Ah.
his nickname, whatever. His
So the name is pronounced different in the United States, though. Am I right? No?
no, the last his like other name, his short name, his pseudonym, not his pseudonym, but one of his many
I had
names.
no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jesus. Okay, I messed up. Yeah,
Okay,
Kia
but
won.
now I need to know
Kia
some of these
won by
words.
far.
What's
Mm?
gracio?
Oh,
Gracioso. Funny.
gracias.
Gracioso.
Funny.
Who?
Funny. Gracioso.
Funny.
Funny. Oh, actually, he is funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know the. I
He
didn't know
is.
what the word meant.
Got me
But I
slapped
guess you're
there.
laughing. Duh,
That's
that's
why I
what I meant.
lost.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
okay, well, this is only a small little dynamic that we had here in order to practice our Spanish, right? And it's really good to apply these things in our classes because it's fun. It's good for practicing questions, and it's good also for it's just fun. It's just fun and something
Yeah.
fun. Just everyone is attracted to fun things. So yeah, it's a well, and it's a dynamic that we are applying right now in our podcast. Yeah, it's one of many others, and the idea is that we start applying these things every single time that we have a guest. So it brings a little fun. Is there another question that you want to make, Winter? I don't know how much time Kia has. If you have time for one more question, or
No, I think the game was fun. It works better when we know the language. I think it's fun to use either way because as long as the learner is like willing to make a fool of themselves, then I mean, I think actually it was actually fun for me to even like it's a good way to pick up on words as well, actually.
that's
And
right.
it's like if you're willing to like act it out, you can pick up on more stuff as well. but more questions. I think we touched on quite a bit, and I think, Kia, we learned so much about you,
Yes.
and like different things that you use in the classroom, as well as learning a lot about your business. I know, Victoria, you had mentioned you wanted to like touch on the coaching aspect, though.
Yeah, but I think we're right on time. Like I probably
We're at 4:02.
Kia,
Yeah.
yeah, Kia has more things to do, and yeah, we don't want to take advantage of the time that she's given us. Well, we really appreciate you being here. The talk has been really enriching. I think I could relate to many of the things that you said, and I think it's great that people like you are thinking this way, that proficiency is key for everything, right? For language acquisition. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for the time. And if you want to connect somehow, well, our LinkedIn, we can send you our LinkedIn and we can connect over there. And yeah, and we can continue talking about other things if you want. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, let's connect. That's my finish sentence.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
thank you all so much. This was great. Victoria, thank you so much. And Wynter, thank you so much. I had a lot of fun. So thank you for having me. It's great. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good
Yeah.
day.
All
Have a
right,
good
we'll do.
day.
You all too.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.